Hey guys, how is everybody today? Thanks for coming by. I found my way out back to the mower and I've been tearing into it and trying to get that dash loose. I want to say I thank all of you guys for giving me your thoughts and tips about getting into that so I get that gas tank out of the way. And I've decided to, without moving the motor, I'm going to take the dash off because that's where all the work is I need to do anyway. So if I took the motor loose, I'd still probably have to get in there and tear the dash apart. So instead of doing something I don't need to do, we're just going to tackle the dash. Let me show you what I found out. I got me a little helper. You can see him there. He's a shade tree mechanic. Alright, for starters, I found that I had a nut and bolt and washer that was right here. It was just holding the dash to this inner dash metal part. And then I also found there were some screws, one on each side that went in this way. So I got them out of the way. And then I found these two little rascals right here going through the metal parts. Okay, once I got those loose, I still couldn't move it. And I thought the steering wheel was holding it up. So I got myself a punch. And I drove out the steel pin, the roll pin, that holds the steering wheel on to the shaft through this hole right here, which you can't see right now. There it is. There it is. I don't know if you can see it or not, but you know it's there. I just drove that out of the way. And once I did that, I was able to fish around in there and push these cables up and get them some slack. And then I could pull this plastic part up. And that's where I found I had two more bolts, one on each side right here. And so this one is almost out. I stopped long enough so I could share this experience with you. And if I take this one out the rest of the way, I should be able to move this metal piece and pull that gas tank out of my way. So bear with me just a second. And they're just little bitty squirts. Half-inch long or something. Anyway, that's out. So unless the steering wheel, yeah, see how it all popped loose there? Now, boy, they just don't want that to come out of there. I've still got this steering shaft, and there's a lever here for deck engagement. I guess that's what that is. See it there? It's just, you can't get to the connections on it because of the gas tank, and it won't let you take this plastic part off because of the way it's bent. I am just like, are you kidding me? Jeez. Okay, so anyway, I'm wrestling with it. I'm getting closer though. Stay tuned, I'll keep you up to date when I get that wrestled out of there. Alright, a moment later, and you would have seen me pull it out. Anyway, that's out of my way for now. So what I see down in there is a bunch of stuff that's unplugged, which is fine. I'm going to be disabling all these safety switches. I did some research and I found there's a seat switch, a brake switch, and a clutch or a deck engage switch. So I'm going to be bypassing all of them. I'm probably just going to cut them out of the equation completely because I don't care about that stuff, you know. So I'm going to get in here and tinker around with these wires, see if I can just get my key to turn a hot lead to the solenoid and run my kill switch from the magneto right back to the kill switch on the switch. And that way I don't have to bypass all the other switches. I'm just going to hot wire new lines in those two places, and it should be done. And here I just want to show you guys. Typical mower. Looks like a rat's nest. And grass, old dry grass clippings and dirt everywhere. Need to pull you dizzy on it and get her all spiffed up. Yeah. Okay, we'll be back. Blow some of this dust out of here. Oh yeah, it's not perfect, but boy, it's much nicer. Now I can see somewhat what I'm trying to do. See what I mean? Much nicer. Okay. Okay, so I have taken the key switch out of the dash. I blew all the cobwebs off it, squirted some WD-40 in there, worked it a few times, make sure it springs back like it's supposed to, and it feels good enough. And then if you look real close on the back side, if I get this in the light right, maybe you'll be able to see it. But there's indicator marks on each spade giving you indication for what it does. This one says B for battery. I'm in the shadows, aren't I? G for ground. I don't know that that's showing up, but it may if I get it in the light just right. Over here, L for lights. This top one says S for solenoid, right there. And this one right here, it looks like two lines. And right at the moment, I'm actually stumped. I'm not sure what that's trying to tell me. I'm getting a mental block for some reason. I'm not seeing clear in my mind right now what that is. But anyway, I'm going to test them and make sure that they're all functioning properly. I know that when I turn the key to where it's at that spring back position, that should send current to the solenoid. And when I have it turned off, it should go from battery to ground. And that will kill it at the magneto. And the same with the battery to the lights. When it's in the on position, that should be hot. And we'll just have to test the other one and see what it does. Okay, so I'm using my analog tester, some alligator clips on the spades, and there's just a test to make sure the tester's working. So I'm going to the battery, to the solenoid, spade, turn the key over, and nothing. So that could be the whole problem with this rascal. It's just that that switch is not working. How about that, ladies and gentlemen? There's a dead problem right out the gate. It'll never start like that. Let's try these lights. Lights will work. How about the ground for the kill? That's a wrap right there. That switch is no good. So, well, now that I know that switch is no good, I need to get one. And before I go try to find one, I'm going to just run a jumper wire from the battery straight to the hot side of the solenoid to make sure it actually functions too. And if it clicks when I touch it with hot, I'll know that that solenoid is good, and that should be the end of it, except for getting the new parts and then putting it, rewiring it and putting it back together. So that's what I'm going to do, and I'll get back to you when I find something out. Okay, I believe you can see the solenoid from there, and this yellow wire is what I'm after. So I'm just going to unplug it, and I know the hot wire from the battery is coming to this post right here, so I should be able to just touch these two together. That little one down in there and this big one up here, and if the solenoid's good, it'll do something. Oh yeah. Oh, almost lost my goodies. Yeah, the solenoid's fine. Alright, so I guess I'm off to go see if I can find a key switch. That two lines I saw on the back of that switch was actually an M for magneto. And you hook them to the ground leg on your switch. So when it's turned off, it takes that to ground. If I could get that to stay up. And get everything to work with me here. Which one was it? This one right here. See how it's turned off right now, and you can see the needles moving. When I turn it on, it goes off. The meter. Oh, doggone it. Fumble fingers, son of a gun. There, maybe that'll help. There, when I turn it off, the needle jumps back over to nothing happening. And when I turn it off, it grounds the magneto, so that's what kills it. So, anyway, we got that clarified. I'm on my way to go find a switch. I'll be back. And it's a beautiful day. And I got time to kill, so I'm gonna take the turf surfer. That thing's fun every time. So I made it back, and yes, I got lucky. I found some switches over there at the O'Reilly's Auto Parts store, and they got the same pole pattern as far as the plug-in goes, but the terminals are actually labeled differently. So I got to test this one out and figure out which wire goes to what, and I may have to run some little jumper leads about that long and plug it into the switch, from the switch into the plug-in on the wiring harness, because I think if I just plug it in straight direct, it probably won't be right. Plus, I need to run out external wire off for the kill and the start anyway. So, yeah, I got to test this out and see what the difference is and sort that all out. And I was digging around here in the shop. I got some spades because I knew I was going to need to do that. And I've got a little assortment of different terminal accessories. And I've got a bunch of different colors of wire that I bought for the Springer bike, and I haven't got done with that. So those are all brand new, they haven't been opened yet, and they're different color coded. So that'll help. And yeah, I just got sorted out, and then I'll get you up to speed when I'm there. Okay, well, it looks like I've come to the end of my rope. The new switch is great, except for it doesn't have an actual off position, where when you turn it off, it grounds out the magneto. It does not have that. Every leg on it is hot, and when you turn it on, everything's hot, and when you turn it off, everything's dead. But that still does not ground that magneto. It just leaves it dangling, per se. And of course, when you push it all the way to where it springs back, it activates the solenoid momentarily, and it springs back. but there's no actual off to kill the magneto, so that switch is not going to work. And they had two, but they were both like this, and I could tell they were different. I didn't know what the difference was, but I have a feeling the other one is going to be the same type of thing. So I'm going to wait, see if I can find a proper switch for this, and do it right. Well, do it the way I'm going to do it, but I need to switch it. When I turn it off, it'll kill that magneto. It'll take one leg to ground. So that's going to conclude it for today. I'm going to put all the little nuts and bolts back in their respective holes so I don't lose them, and cover it up and wait till my next day off. It's too late in the day now to, even if I go back over there, I know they don't have one. So I'll just do that tomorrow. Take it back, get my money back on that. There's a small engine shop here in town. I may go visit with him. He might have one. And yeah. So I know this has been a long, drawn-out little process for nothing, but you kind of get the idea in the general direction in which I'm headed. And I believe that you can understand how it's going to work. And when I get the right switch and put it all back together, I'll kind of give you a quick update, you know, that, hey, there it is, and it did work. Or not. But before I go, I'll tell you a quick little story. Riding the surfer over there. Man, I got my whole heart pounding. I was waiting over here. I have to go all the way across town. I take all the back roads, you know. But there's one spot where I have to cross the highway. And we are in a small rural town, but yet that's still a highway. And I was sitting there waiting for some traffic to pass, and who drives by but the, you know, the sheriff. Oh boy, he eyeballed me. Oh, he big time though. He was giving me that. Oh, you know that guy from Smokey and the Bandit? What was that guy's name? Jackie Gleason. Oh, you want to get it, boy? I could feel it, man. My heart started pounding. I was just like, oh, crap. But I never saw him again. He went on. I crossed the highway, did my business, come back, never saw him again. So, yeah, the joys of living in a small town, you know. Thank goodness. Must be living right, huh? All right. I'll see you guys. Take care. Bye-bye. Buford T. Justice. That's the guy's name I was trying to think of. I'm gonna be after you, boy. He's a shade tree mechanic.